Hello, my friends, and thank you for checking out this quick presentation that I put together on how experts are acquiring new customers after iOS 14. If you have been in the online world at all or been running advertising at all over the last couple of years, you know that things have changed a lot this year. And so what I'm going to share with you are all real examples from our agency of what we are doing to continue to use paid ads for our clients as their number one source of scalable traffic in 2021. Because as you are probably aware, iOS 14 has changed everything this year. And I'm not saying that to be like over the top. It's just the reality of what we've seen with every single account that we work in is that results are down and the stats are right in alignment with that. So at our business, we work primarily with experts, coaches, consultants, service-based businesses, people in the info and services space. And what you can see here is the skyrocketing CPMs that have experienced primarily for the info services space, right? They're up for everybody, as you can see, but the info and services space has been dramatically impacted by this. A lot of our clients have seen their CPMs go up 60 to 100% in the last 12 months. We're also seeing lower engagement. So again, info and services space really being impacted here by having just less engagement, right? People are clicking on our ads and going to our websites less. And then, so what that leads to is our cost per click going up, right? So I remember when I first got started running Facebook ads many years ago, we were talking about getting $3 and $5 leads for our webinars. And now looking at this chart, we're looking at paying $5 for a click. The economics have just massively changed on the platform. And what used to work a few years ago just isn't working anymore. And we need to be aware of that. We need to be adjusting our strategy. So again, that's what I'm going to show you in this video is how we're doing that. We're also dealing with this, where Apple's changes are really making it difficult to be able to measure the impact of our campaigns if we don't have a more advanced tracking system set up in place. I'm going to show you how we're dealing with this right now. But what all of this is leading to is just a strong decrease in return on ad spend. Again, you can see the biggest line here is for the information and services space. So we have to adjust the strategy that we're using in order to continue to get the same results that we used to get. The thing for a lot of our clients is paid ads is still the number one traffic source they can control. So while you're absolutely should be doing organic content and have your email marketing, and there are so many things that we need to do to get all of this right. A lot of our analytics look like this, where if you look at it last week, it's like, hey, Facebook is still the number one traffic source they can control. Google ads coming in there as well. But we need a new system and a new strategy if we want to continue to keep our ads profitable. If you're using outdated strategies, like trying to take a passive approach to your advertising. You think you're just going to set stuff up, let it run for a while, nothing's going to happen. Using outdated funnel strategies from 2008-19, like tripwires and some of these other things that used to work well when traffic costs were lower, or you just don't have a really cohesive strategy between your offers, your content, your ads, and your sales, you're going to run into all of the problems that a lot of people are experiencing on the ad platform right now, where they're just no longer profitable running the same thing that they were running 2 years ago. And that's pretty much the problem, is it's still the same thing from running before. There's just a lot that you have to get right if you want to be profitable from now going forward with the increased costs, the decreased engagement, all the stuff that is happening. Again, particularly for experts, coaches, consultants, people in like the info and services space. So this is the 4-pillar framework that we have developed, and we have evolved from being a Facebook ad agency who is really just focused on Facebook ads to now we're implementing all 4 of these pillars for our clients, because this is really the only way that we find that we can continue to drive success for them, given everything that's going on. So the first thing that we have to focus on is our offers. So we've got 2 main things we're talking about here. We're talking about our business offer. So like, what is the main core offer that you are selling? What is this high ticket program? What is this thing that you charge the most amount of money for? And what are you driving results for your customers as a business? And then we have marketing offers. So these are like the freebie or the cheap things that you're giving out in the beginning to get people interested in your business, to get them into your funnel, and to get them moving forward. And so we've got to focus on both of these. We want to start with your business offer. So we really need to focus on Who is it for? What is their dream outcome? And how can you help them get there as quickly as possible? And then how can you design a high ticket offer so good that someone would pretty much just be stupid for saying no to you? That's what we need to be competitive today online. If you are just trying to sell the same thing that everybody else is selling, you're just not going to get the kind of conversions that you need to be profitable. And we can engineer an offer that is going to give you the results that you're looking for in your business and give your customer the results that they're looking for in their business. We have, or in their personal lives, whatever you help them with, we have a framework that we can walk through to do this. But we really have to make sure we've got a high ticket offer in place so that we can actually be profitable even with the $5 cost per clicks that we're seeing in inside some of our accounts. And then we need to have a funnel strategy that's designed for today's ad costs. So really, these are the only 3 funnels that we see working at our agency right now. So we've got high ticket offers where people are selling over the phone. We've got evergreen webinar funnels that are still working. And then we have low ticket self-liquidating offers. And it's really important to understand where each one of these fits into your business and where you should start. So evergreen webinars are definitely still working, and we are running evergreen webinars for clients that have successful funnels. But I will tell you from experience, these are becoming more challenging to get profitable. And I have spoken with many business owners who had very profitable evergreen webinar funnels who are moving to a high ticket sales funnel to sell over the phone just to account for the costs that are happening on the ad platform. You used to be able to sell a $1,400 or a $2,000 course through an evergreen webinar, and that worked. And in some markets that still does. But the thing is, if you are in a really competitive marketplace, costs are really high, competition is really high, you might lose all your margins still selling a $1,500 or a $2,000 course. That's just the reality of the ad costs that we're dealing with. So we're seeing a large amount of people moving into high ticket funnels. We've even helped some clients turn their evergreen webinars into high ticket sales call funnels. And those are working better than they were when they were running evergreen. And then low ticket offers still absolutely have their place. Liquidating offers where you're selling something for, these are books, mini courses, all of that stuff. They definitely still have their place. We always start with the high ticket first because it's way easier to run a profitable business if you need to sell 3 $5,000 programs instead of needing to sell 2,000, $100 programs or whatever that is. So we're starting with high ticket. We're running a lot of high ticket webinars for high ticket funnels for our clients. We've still got some evergreen webinar funnels. Low ticket is still working. It has its place, but we want to start high and build the funnel that can actually be profitable with today's ad costs. Then the next thing what we're looking at is messaging. And we really need to make sure that we have succinct and congruent messaging throughout your entire customer journey. So what are you coming up with for organic content, your paid ads, even your back-end emails where you are communicating with customers? All of this, we want to make sure that we are continuing to iterate your value proposition, your brand messaging, all of these important things, and using a conversion-focused messaging in order to move people through the stages of becoming a customer. Because what we've also seen is people have more options today than they ever did before. There's more competition. There's probably somebody else offering something similar to what you are offering, or something that could at least be perceived as competition to your customers. And so we expect that people are going to need a lot of interaction with you in order to be able to move forward and become a customer. When we look at a lot of our tracking, what we see is that while we definitely see customers who will come into a high ticket funnel, convert within the first 1 or 2 weeks, but then we also see a lot of people who wait 3-6 months before they book that call and they become a customer and they move forward with our products. And so what we want to do is make sure we're using the right messaging throughout everything that we're doing. So what we're creating is the exposure effect, which is once someone comes into your world, they will just develop a preference for wanting to work with you simply because they will merely be exposed to everything that you are doing over time. So once someone comes into your funnel because they've been attracted to you through some of your organic content or some of your joint ventures or some of your paid advertising, if they don't take action right away, how do we make sure that we can get them on a list, nurture them over time? What is that messaging strategy to look like? How do we make sure that we can continue to get our content in front of them? And how do we make sure that that content is helping reinforce the value that we can provide to that customer and helping them move forward with wanting to work with you? And then the very last thing we're focused on is traffic, right? And we just need a process-driven ad framework to move forward. So we've got to be focused on how do we launch test offers, test budgets, validate different ideas in the marketplace, optimize those campaigns, scale them up when they're working, and then reiterate this process, because one thing we are absolutely seeing is offers just aren't working as long as they used to. Especially on Facebook ads, we're having to change out the offer that we're actually promoting more often than we used to. So we used to be able to run the same thing for 1-2 years. Now some of these like lower ticket stuff, we're having to adjust at least just the positioning of it, adjust the framing of it, do that more often. If you're running some kind of lead magnet to get people into a high ticket funnel, those are having to get changed out more often. And so we just need a process-driven framework that we can use for this. And then one of the biggest issues that everyone is facing right now is ROAS, when measured through Facebook, has lost like 30 to 50% of its accuracy after iOS 14. This is coming from another report, that same study that had those charts from before. And so you need a lot of different tracking sources set up in order to be able to effectively measure your results. So we still need the Facebook pixel, because that's how Facebook understands who are the leads and customers. If we're running Google ads, we need the Google ads pixel, so that way Google can understand who are the leads and sales that we are generating. If we're doing anything on Facebook, we've got to also have CAPI implemented, their conversion API tracking. That's got to be there. We've also need Google Analytics set up so we can understand behavioral. And then we need some kind of third-party tracking platform, especially for our customers that are selling high ticket. They have a longer sales cycle. Now with these ad pixels being able to measure only 7 days after the click, we've got to have something so we can measure how are we actually generating revenue over time. And so when we're using third-party platforms, what we're able to do is put something like this where we can track customers from IP address, email addresses, and a number of other traffic sources that aren't just the pixels, and be able to create a dashboard that will let us see the LTV over customers over time, see how long it's taking people to convert, and we can use information like this to optimize our campaign so we're not stuck relying on the performance that's coming out of the dashboard, which, as we know, is just not nearly as accurate as it used to be. So we've got evergreen webinars, like I said, that we are still running, and we had a client come to us. They were running ads with another agency. That agency was only reporting things based on the Facebook pixel, so they had really no idea how much money they were making. They had no clear testing strategy to move forward. So we helped them put a lot of these tracking systems in place. We helped them implement clear testing strategies. We managed their optimization process. And what we were able to do was attract over 179,000 leads for their webinar. We generated $100,000 on the front end, and that they generated $900,000 in sales on the back end of that webinar. This is a screenshot from one of our evergreen webinar campaigns. Facebook doesn't do the adding up anymore, so I can just tell you, we're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on these funnels. We're getting like a 2.4 ROAS on this funnel here, which, is not bad when we're doing this at scale. And they also have back-end products. So that's a pretty good spot to be. Sales call funnels, again, we're just seeing so many more people move to this model because it's just what's working with today's ad costs. It's easier to scale, it's easier to generate sales. And so we had a client come to us, he had a sales call funnel, but they could not get their ads to work. So they were in a challenging niche, and all they had was organic traffic. They were doing a lot of joint ventures, a lot of organic, a lot of social. That was working for them, but they really had no way to scale up outside of that. So we came in, we put a full funnel strategy in place to help them increase their sales calls. We did all of their messaging, we did their testing and optimization. We're now handling their back end and all of that stuff. And we helped them go from 0 to 60 calls a month with paid ads. They saw a 20% increase in sales from Facebook, which they're already $1 million business. That 20% increase in sales was quite a bit of cash. And then they also now have a channel that they can control outside of just their SEO content. And for them right now, we're looking at expanding into other traffic platforms. So these are possible. Here's actually that screenshot from their account. And again, we're generating like a 4.1 ROAS on the ad spend that we're putting into this account just on the front end. They have back end offers as well. So how can we help you apply all this to your business? So if you are expert, coach, consultant, service provider, something like that, the first thing we can really help you do is create an offer so good that you can easily sell it over the phone for 3 to 5K. If you want to get started, if your funnels have not been working, if your funnels were working and they're no longer working, I can really tell you from my experience, I think moving to a high ticket sales call funnel is probably the right direction for a lot of businesses in our space, just again, because of the costs that are coming in with advertising. And so we want to create an offer so good that people would be dumb to say no to you, and you can charge at least 3 to 5K for it so that we can make up for the cost on the ad platform. Then we build a simple funnel for you to generate appointments on your calendar every single week with quality prospects. So we make sure that you're generating phone calls for your offer, and you can sell over your phone, and we can help you figure out how to put in a good sales system in place once you've got appointments on your calendar, then we can drive traffic from any platform that really your customer hangs out the most. So what we're seeing right now is Facebook and YouTube. Facebook still works, especially for certain audiences. YouTube is absolutely an up-and-comer. Well, it's not an up-and-comer. It's been around for a while, but YouTube is definitely something that we've been expanding into more and more over the last year, and we're going to continue to expand to because we've seen really good leads and sales coming from YouTube, and so we want to move in that direction. We want to help our clients move in that direction as well. And then how do we actually optimize your back end so that every opportunity is increasing your ROI? This is something that's really important for us going forward, where we used to, this is from my experience 5 years ago, we could just be an ad agency and that worked for us. Now we've really got to make sure that we're optimizing the back end as well. And so we've now created our offer so that we can help you do all of this. We can help you design an offer so good that you can sell it for at least 3 to 5K. We can build your funnel for you. We can drive traffic, and we can monetize the back end for you, so that what you can do is you can work with your clients, you can sell over the phone, you can get good results, and you can grow your business, continuing to use advertising, but selling high ticket, and then figuring out what are the other kind of marketing offers and front end offers you need to put in place once you've got a converting high ticket funnel. So that's what we can do for you. If that all sounds great, if you're even at all interested, please book a call with me. Probably down below this video somewhere, there's a button, and we can have a talk about if this is a good fit for you, and how we could help you get all of this done in your business. So if that sounds good, I would love to chat with you soon, and yeah, have a good one.